Hello, and welcome. This is Julian the Jewel Design, and we are on to video number 3 this week. Woohoo, I'm doing good. I am super excited to be back here with you guys today, as we are going to try and get our waterfall panels, I want to say decorated, chosen, picked out, something. We have these black panels for our waterfall, and we are using it as the mat or the border to any decorative pages that we use. And today, though we worked on the middle signature and we worked on the back page, I sort of went through and tried to start looking at the adjustments to see what would fit where. And we're going to start trimming and paper clipping each panel in so we know decorative wise like what we're working with. And if we do this right, with a little stop and start on my end, we can even get to the point where we start deciding where to use certain materials to tip in bags, pockets, flips, fun things, right? I have all of this fun stuff, plus a couple printed ephemera pieces that we want to make this interactive with. Now, it's interesting. We have a black base, and a lot of my tip-ins are white-based. So, which is great, because then we're going to swap it. We're going to white border it. We're going to put black construction paper down. We're going to put other goodies and work that in. So we're going to get some reverse within our play. So I'm really stoked about that. So yeah, today is, rehashing our deals. Here's my template to remind me for all my measurements. I don't want to forget what we're dealing with. So they're all say inside what I'm supposed to be cutting them at. And, sorry, that's a, okay, I hear it now, okay. Sorry, I heard something and I was like, I think it's Sharky inside the house and he's moving something around the yard. I was like, around that room. I'm like, what is that noise? Sorry. Okay, so anyway, we are, we are going to go through and start, it's my little note, okay. Start working on, cutting it, paper clipping it in where I think it's going to work, so we can decide. Now, once I've cut them, of course, there's no real going around it. A few things can be maybe swapped, but once they're cut small, I can't really put them somewhere bigger unless I'm going to add extra paper, which I have plenty of to help with our tip pins or something like that. So, decided that I'm going to put her on the front cover because 10-to-1, we're going to do a full cover for this. Due to the way how these all panned out, I don't think we're going to sit here and overly decorate this. I think this is a great spot for a label and a word, right? In our roses and stuff, the front cover, like this book belongs to, this journal belongs to maybe, and some offshoots, something. We're going to have something fun with that. But like this one just fits. Like it's going to cut it, and it's going to cut the leg off a little bit, but I think for the majority, she's going to be a gorgeous first cover. And then this is the back half, which gives us some writing. And I think it's going to give us room to put a belly band tuck in the fold to continue to utilize this page. So things like that. I started tweaking with this and then realized whatever I put on the front panel has to go on the back panel because it literally, size-wise, being this is was 8.5 by 11. Now it's on 8.25, which means it's also down to about 10 3/4 length. When we trim things, the other half has to go on the back side of the same piece of paper. So I started moving stuff around and I went, nope, because then I don't have the right cut. So I had to stick. If I did this here, the other half is going in the back, which not a problem. It's okay. We're going to make it work. So let's see. So we're going along. Yeah, I have pages everywhere. I even already put in the potential of maybe using this one with her because I believe she's an extra flap. There is some extra, I have an extra paper or two. So I think we're going to use this portion that once we do it, this one goes here. And I think I'm going to use this back section with this envelope, and she's going to be part of a flap because she's an extra. And I think I have one other piece of paper that's considered an extra. So we have a little bit of play, but not a whole lot. So we're going to get going. I'll cut a few pieces with this, start plopping them in place, and then I'll probably pause it and cut it all up, and then I'll come back and we can actually see all the panels in their proper place, and we can actually look into these tipped in flips and pockets and things like that. So yeah, so I hope you're all doing really well. It's sort of a mess right now, but here I'll show you the back real quick. So we started with the paneling, right? We did talk about that. So this is here. The other portion is already inside and glued to the front. And we went and used it because this is a great place to write. And we were able to get a journal tag done. Decorated the back so it sits in here just right. And it's nice and decorative. Nice little, we were trying to add some lace and pretties to our things. This is open in the back. So if you didn't watch me on Monday, I think it was Monday. I'm already behind schedule. Thursday, Wednesday. This is going up Thursday night, Friday. So this was Tuesday, Wednesday's video. There is a pocket back here. And then I just added a ticket because it is the Paris Theater, more lace, a little fussy cut, and pearls down the side of her dress. I think I need to add one or two more to the bottom here so it continues on, but the lace got in the way. But we have this lovely, there's glue on that, who knew? This lovely organza ruffle with the felt and silver trim. I was able to get the kink out of it, so I'm super stoked about that. It looks like it ran. Oh, that's weird. All right, and then so we'll, the inside will be sort of today. That will be this part. We're gonna put the inside here, and then the middle signature. Definitely has it. Definitely had a struggle bus, but we put the pearl there, so it gave me the idea to put some floral here. So yeah, cardstock is gonna add a light taupey, creamy color to elements. So we're gonna go from that pure white, bluish gray to more of a creamy off-white taupey area. So we're gonna have some mix, which I think will help. I think it's gonna be not a perfect black and white, of course, but it's gonna have a nice tweak. So then the inside, when we were realizing things were smearing, I was trying to put ink over it, so that made it muddy. So then I added black and white paint to sort of reduce, and we just sort of, nicely splatter, which being the inside cover to the signature, the actual naked journal in here, I think is gonna be just fine. And it did help us finally. I got more paint on some. Oh my gosh, I can't. The ink is going to be definitely an issue, and I'm not even going to worry about it. It's imperfect. It's imperfect. Can't do anything about it. But we have our tiny scallop trim here, and we have our ruffled right lace here. So, the Wright's ruffled black lace. So there is Inkiver. So yeah, I mean, I'm loving how it turned out. It is a little, got a little bit of mixed media going on here. I may still even take some of the putty and do some stenciled spackle stuff in corners. We'll see, and then spray it really good. So we're going to really enjoy the inside of this as we cover up the journal part of the signature, and we're just going to keep adding layers. This may end up with pots, things of lace, or I don't know. We'll decorate the inside and make it really worth the while, but it was definitely the oops bust, and it probably will not be done anything else on camera because every time I do, I seems to get worse. So that was the update to our ordeal. So as you can see, each one of these pages has something stapled, or not stapled, paper clipped in. So hopefully everything lines up the way I want to. So we're going to put it to the side, and we're just going to work one-on-one. At least a few of these I'll cut for you to sort of get a feel for how we're doing this. And then I'll pause it and, cut the rest of them up and then come back. So that way I am not wasting a whole video on you watching me cut paper, because that's not fun. So this is our front, or our main cover. So this is 3-inch panel and an 8-inch panel. So everything needs to be 1/4 inch smaller. So we need to cut 2 3/4, and we need to cut 7 7/4. 7 3/4, sorry. 2 3/4, 7 3/4. There we go. Hopefully, and knowing that this is a little short on that. So we can, this I know for 3, this is a little smaller, so we can trim until it fits the way we want to, because we'll have it being smaller than we need. So let me get my silly cutter here and see if this is going to be my best friend or this is going to be my nightmare. Hope you're all doing well. So we are coming to the end of the week. Who knows? Gosh, the weeks are going by so fast. As I mentioned earlier, the girls are going to be done with school before we know it. Even my oldest is just like, what do you mean my junior year's almost done? I actually enjoyed this year. What do you mean it's done? We struggled a little bit last year with some stuff, and so like this year she's actually enjoying it, actually truly enjoying her school year. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm not almost done. What are you talking about? I'm like, no, I know. I don't know what to tell you. So, but that also means finals, start studying for finals and final exams and projects, and that gets a little bit more. All right, so 2 3/4 is where I'm going. As we learned the other day, do not measure from this outside edge. You will get screwed up. Find the marks up here and cut accordingly, because the cutting board's way up here. It's like, oh, and hope everything else is good. All right. So I definitely went back and, last night and blotched and inked every little white space I could find on the papers on our press board because, you know, it doesn't work. I don't like the white cut. Let's see. So if we did this right, pretty close. Yeah, nice. I'll bring it up and down a little bit, but that is our first panel. I can get that note number off. I know, but you do what you have to do. All right. See, and then when you flip it open, you have a first writing space. I think that's be really pretty. It lets me room to put lace. I can put lace down this side. I can put lace here. Lace on the inside. We can put a label and a word up here. I do have black and white words, so they're a little grungy, but I think like engraved or sisters, or, you know, what do I have? Singing, sport, not quite. Manly, yeah, there's some, because this goes with the other black and white kit, there's some interesting pieces, but I have black and white. Or if we decide we really want to add that cream tint, I have out my light vintage words too. So, all right, there's the first half. And then to confirm, to make sure, yep, 7 3/4. Now, we're going to put this upside down because I need to trim off this side, not this side. I need that whole edge as much as possible. And really, it pretty much is right there. There's very little for me to cut off. And I will cut it off, though, because I know that, on the safe side here, that this back side is definitely short. So, yeah, I just need that little bit, but we want a nice clean border. So, we are definitely going to cut that 7 3/4. So each page, when you cut one side, is definitely going to leave you just enough for the other side. And because we do want that border, that mini bit of matting border, we just have to make sure everything fits. And make sure everything's nice and tight. So if I cut everything else somewhat square, this should be pretty easy to go to. So I have a few strips of papers left over on this one, but not a lot. I think this is not going to be a lot of leftover stripes, you know, straight things. So let's see how we're doing. Again, remember, we're going to keep the borders to the top, bottom, and outside edge. And if it means it's a little tight to the middle, that's okay. And this one actually fit nicely. So far, I pulled out all my black and white paper clips because I felt it only seemed fitting, right? And like, our paper clips have to match our project. So there you go. There is our first set. Okay. So far, oh my goodness, so good. I gotta find places to put things when I'm done, though. Oh my goodness. All right, next set of pages, and then I'll probably pause, and we will, yeah, because the next set of pages is a little different, because of the fact that I didn't want, eek, because everything drops to the floor. Okay, so what I didn't want to do, we'll put this aside, I know this is going to go on something, but, what I didn't want to do is put her so close to the back when she is our main focus on the back page, right? She is our ephemera. She is the, she's her right there. So originally I was thinking about putting this on this cover, and that would put her right here. And I'm like, I don't want her here and then have her on the back. So second in wasn't bad either, but I was like, well, I'm starting to feel like, you know, she may be our ephemera accent to a lot of things, because she's in this envelope, she's in the file folder, like she's going to end up in a lot of places. So I wonder if she's going to be my ephemera piece throughout the thing, but I wasn't sure if I really wanted to put her on the back page. So I definitely want the Eiffel Tower on my second. It's almost exactly fits. We don't have to cut off much of the floral, and use this as extra, and instead we're going to put her on this back side. So our second in is going to be her, and this is an extra strip. So that's a thought there, because I just wanted to try to keep a variety. I didn't want to do too much repeat. I do have all kinds of different ladies in black and white. They're not one period or the other. They're definitely not, you know, by like all Victorian or all whatever. They're all kinds of different ladies, and all their pretty ordeals. So this one being a 3.5 inch, because remember we go in 1/2 inch increments. Each page is folded in by another 1/2 inch, right? We 1/2 inch in, fold it in, make it each one wider. So this one only needs to be 3.25 wide when we're done, and I can. So yeah, I don't, you know, I mean, we can look at it real quick and see, but I don't know. Yeah, though, you know, she's going to be there a lot, and I may have to pick and choose how much I really want her everywhere. she may be too much. We'll see. I'm like, oh, but she's gorgeous. I love the combo of the flowers and the hairpin and the Paris and all that jazz. So I can't help myself. But all right, so let's not get confused here. It's 3 1/4, I said, for a 3.5 inch panel. And yeah, inking everything with black definitely helps it blend. But I will have to also, like, overnight ink everything and let it sit and dry, so that we don't have any issues later. I have less everything. Not using an actual distressed ink is definitely leaving things wetter. They don't absorb as quickly into the paper, any of the papers. All right, so we're thinking that I'll just keep it at the top, that way I'm not wondering about left and right. All right, so this one's pretty decorative on its own. I really don't have to do anything unless I want to add, you know, lace or an applique or something sort of flat up here just to go. But even having an applique or something of another dimension sort of blend in here would keep to the cluster, which would be really nice. So now, so technically this would go back here. This would be the next thing. But it's so close to the back side, I'd rather pull her towards the front with as an extra flip up or something. So that's what she's going to be. She's going to be a decorative piece. All right, so this is going to be the back then. My to be. To be or not to be, that is the question. Sorry. Yeah, Shakespeare. Easy England, not France, though. That's all right. So to be, that sounds so fun. To be is supposed to be 7 1/4, because this should be 7 1/2. I'm not cutting it. I'm just sort of curious to make sure I'm at shy of 7 1/2, but it's supposed to be 7 1/2. Yes. Okay. I'm like, oh, it's supposed to be the 7 1/2. Everything, you know, fold. So yeah, 7. So having some extra pieces is great. It does give me, you know, things to play with. Like this is a great strip with some of those. I had black paper left over, so it allowed me to, you know. So this is where I was definitely doing a lot of the thinking last night, and I'm glad I did, because trying to do this on camera with you guys would be probably really crazy. I went back and forth, started making shifts. I was like, wait a minute, I can't make shifts. I can't put, you know, this cut, but this one on a completely different panel because it wouldn't fit. Now some, yes, I could be like, well, I trimmed this, but guess what? It's, you know, it's big enough I can cut it smaller, but then the next page where I had a bigger panel here, I wouldn't have enough to cover back here. So there were some things I really couldn't pick and choose. Like I couldn't go, oh, well, I just want to do this. Oh, well, so I'll do that. No, not quite. So here we go. We start seeing the progress. We can definitely see, there we go. See, we're starting to see our waterfall. We're starting to see where things are going to line up and where we're going to get a little bit of black and we're going to get a little bit of white color. And each one is just going to hint. Now, when tipping something in on the outside edge, it is going to cover a portion of this, but not the black. My goal is to tip, whatever we tip in is going to get glued underneath the paper, the decorative paper, to help hide whatever interaction we're doing. Because I don't want to see a flap on the back. Now, I could flap it here, but then my back page couldn't have its matting, and it'd be bumpy when you need to write. And the whole point is to write on this or put one more pocket on here, depending on what's going on. We may have a few pages because it is this paper and it's a little darker than I expected. It might have our interaction on that page because it's too hard to write on if I don't want to cover up a certain bit of this. Now see here we have all this space, which is great. This is writable to a point with a good pen, or we're going to put pockets here, something. It may not be an outer end, it's going to be an inner spot. This could be a great spot for a flip up because something narrow that we can flip out and still use. So things like that. We're going to look at the empty space, we're going to look to see what we have, and we're going to put it to good use. Okay, so I'm going to pause it because I'm not going to go through each one of these. I now know what it is. I'm more likely to be pretty quick and not mess it up. So I'm going to go cut all those pages down real quick to our measurements. I can always go back as we're going along and reminding you, you know, this is 2 3/4. That was 3 1/4, you know, so on and so forth. What the sizes were if you need to know. I could at some point near the end or maybe add to the beginning one some of my measurements. If it helps you, let me know. If you guys really want to do this and you're not catching the measurements, I can try and do a template that I could do like a Word document or something, maybe, or a PDF, and lay out the measurements and the visuals, and add them maybe as a freebie under my Crafters of Visual Design Facebook group as a free download. And that way you guys can, get these measurements if you like the matted look. And I can even simplify it to where if you just wanted to fold it where my folds are. So let me know if you guys really wanted to try to do this, and my jibber jabbering and my constant back and forth of this, if I'm not slow enough and you can't read my writing, let me know. I'll put a quick template together, or quick instruction sheet, and get it out to you guys if you want it. I'll put it up on my Facebook group page, and you guys can download it and help you along. So I will be right back. Okay, we're back, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. I think we're too far out. Okay, so there we go. There's our waterfall effect. Waterfall pages. We have a nice little bit of a matte idea, and beautiful black and white images on the edge of each one of these. Even here, even though, now when this is all tightly sewn in, you can still even see a trim of something, wondering what it is for our middle signature, right? So this baby's really, with paper in here, is gonna sit. And every little thing we add to it, it's gonna sit up. So we will probably match to a point the spine to accommodate where it's gonna, the cover is just gonna sort of sit right here on top to keep it from going up any higher, and give us that, like, sort of, like I said, the photo album feel. So it sits nicely inside. Nothing has to get squished or so crocodile that it, it's not a bad thing. A crocodile wouldn't be bad because you would be able to see all of this from the side. But I want a nice spine and clean cover over it, to make this, it's another effect, another pretty. So anyway, that's going to be a whole nother video. Okay, so we got to go through here and see where we find items. I need my notes. I don't know where to put my notes. Let's see. So as we're going along, I'm probably going to, I think one of these I had a note already about which page I wanted to put. I think the back page, I mentioned the tuck. That was it. Which is the tuck on the back page. I'm thinking maybe because of the size of the envelope. All right, so our back page, yeah, I think if we have leftovers, it's a little thick, but I have plenty of paper. We could do a solid black tuck back here, cut it to match, put paper over it, make it a nice solid tuck. If we wanted to have this little writing space and a nice journal card of some sort, large journal card tucked in here, that could be really nice. Definitely makes this a little heavier for that back page, and giving it, and it's opposite though too. It's nice and flat here, whatever we do, and won't interfere with the writing on that page. So plus if the ephemera's here and the ephemera's on the outside, it balances out the page. So let's see. I have to trim it either way. Hold on. I'm gonna have to trim it because if I really want to use this, no matter what I do, well, I could hide it. Do I want to hide the border and then border on the inside white? Yeah, we'll blend it. Okay, so we need the 8.5 inch. Here, I thought I was done, but here's what this is what I want to be doing. I'm going to work through it with you guys, brainstorm out loud. Wish you could hear me, or wish you could respond. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Actually, that's the best end. I'm trying to see what's our best end here to use, so that when we're done here, so we'll cut it 8.5. We'll ink it later, but we'll paper clip it in. That's another piece, to know that we're thinking tuck back here with more paper and a nice large journal card. So this is our potential. So when we glue it down, we make sure we properly. So if I needed to, it also will hide any imperfections with our matting, right? Okay, so there's that back piece potential, and we'll line it up to where it's probably just on the outside of the white page, so it's not too tight to the middle, so it doesn't interfere with any sewing. Because all of this is going to have to be sewn together. Yeah, it's going to be thick. It's going to be thick. Okay, so there's the first potential. So here, nothing. Here, again, clustering, writing. This I felt would take in a good pocket because we have a lot of stuff. Now, too wide. I thought even though it's beige, covering it with ephemera might make for a nice glue down pocket tuck if we wanted. If we had an interesting page that we needed something. And I may just decorate. I have 2 of these. I have one here and one in black and white. It may just be an extra that I decorate in. We'll see. How to have thank yous and ephemeras. Okay. Oh, pocket. So we can do one of 2 things. I have my ephemera pockets. We can do and trim it, but I'm going to have a stackable. I have a wraparound, but then that interferes with whatever's going on. I think this one, I actually thought of cutting it, having our notch, using these guys, and stacking. If we had a page where we had the room to stack two skinny pockets, we would sort of reuse our wraparound page pocket and turn it into maybe more of a stackable. Let's see, hold on. I've got all my goodies right here cut. I just have to find them all. They're all... So the other thought, again, could still be stackable, but was going for the wider, and that happens to match. I'll cut something off no matter what I do. Was maybe do either a stackable or a single pocket here, right? Even if I centered it, so my squiggle. But to do a single pocket there, or if we wanted to, I like this one because this is the reverse of this, so that might actually be nice and gives me room to decorate. I have no idea what happened to my printer. I would trim it to center it with a hole punch, and it'd be the opposite of this, and we could decorate it and leave, because whatever we tucked in here really wouldn't interfere with this. So let's potentially leave that there, which means I don't have to do any gluing there. There's a pocket. Now she has plenty of opening space. You could leave it as extra writing space or a tuck. So we also keep in mind too, as we go along, how many pages every other are we, intertwining. So there's that one. Now, what was the thought process? One of these things that I was playing with. Now and that takes up almost the whole page. Well, that's wider than it looks. I was looking to see at some of our things, whether there was something fun. So when we have the pages that I do, these that are the back, that are the writing pages, might be a little hard to write on. I was a little worried. I thought I had lightened up my this one better. And really, there's only some spots where I feel it's really easy to write on and it gets really dark. So I could flip it around wherever the lightest spots, could fussy cut it and be like, okay, that's really light. Or just knowing that it's my one page where I am going to add a pocket, a bag, a something. Because this, as skinny as it is though, could be turned into, a little ephemera pocket, a tall, skinny tag. And depending how we glued it, could be another tuck. So this could be a multi-pocketed ordeal, right? And with this, we put some black on there. We put more digital on there. We enhance it like that little black piece, right? Like almost perfect. So we border it, enhances, helps reinforce that little pocket down below. Decorate with something white applique down here, white lace, so on and so forth. So anyway, I'm going to keep this part together just because I feel like that's going to be helpful no matter what. But I don't know where I'm putting these pages yet. I don't get into that hoopla quite yet. I wonder if I should, though. Ugh. I have to stop and start again. I don't know if it's going to help us knowing what's on these sides. If that's going to make it easier to figure out what side's going to go where. Because I don't want to be like doing all this and then find out when I put the page in, I'm like, oh, now we have 2 very interactive pages side by side. And it makes it too bulky in places. This one has potential for anything because it's already busy. Covering it up is not the end of the world. And opening it up. This is where I do have to, if I want this one, I love the vellum. If we're going to tip this one in, let's just say this page is too small. We glue down that spot, which is already have a double-sided sticky tape. We carefully put, a journal card in here. But we would probably cover this with some paper. We're going to cover this with our fancy paper. We're going to do her, I think, on here. So we'll do a little bit of black. So it's that, you lose the white. I may not black that one out. This one we may cover all the way. You just see more of a clear border. Ink it gray. The back side could be black here because it won't shine through. It's not going to make it a mishap there. So we could do a black here and decorate this side and then tuck something into it. But this page is not wide enough for that. So we want that pocket to fit nicely. That's our center, so we don't want anything there. I think it was this side I thought, even though she's super cute and I hate to block her, she would be the peekaboo underneath, because this one fits nicely. We'll look to see if there's another page that might be better, because she is super busy. So you'd have that pretty there, which you just see this outside, and then you'd open it and you would see her. We'll make sure that something here sort of goes with it, with a nice card, because there's no writing on that. And, you know, we can put lace top and bottom here to really enhance this, because this is just paper. I'm debating on that one. This is where I'm thinking. I'm thinking this is going to be our spot. But, you know, what I think and what I get might not always work. Alright. And I can't close it. So let's put this in a way where I can close this page for a moment. So we got that there. I'm put this here. Okay. So maybe that's our our first flip out. Now what I could do is it's a black border, but I could put another writing space. I can have one of those panels that go on the right side. We can put it here so you can write on this, pull out the journal card, write on it. So we gain a little writing space. This one, and one of these, I was thinking on this one would be 2 over, doing something, you know, I might use the black if we fold it and tip it in, if it's not too heavy. But I thought maybe this one would be pretty for a fabric lace flip. I have stuff. Might be a little off in the coloring, but what if... Oh, I was like, what is this? Yeah, this one, these guys, we sold what we could, but some of it was definitely oddly damaged. Okay. What if we did something like that? I know it's gold, but we know we have that creamy cut tone. I have a really taupey piece. Wonder if that would be better, because it is, we're doing that off when we are doing some of my ephemera. It has that more antique-y gold feel. This one's definitely heavier though. That's light. This is definitely a heavier piece. So yeah, but I think I want to keep this for a fall and or I have a spooky spell book I want to do, and that might look better actually. Yeah, it's too heavy. Okay, I think I know where that's going. Sorry. Side note. I have a project I want to do for the Halloween section, Halloween fall era. I had found an old book of spells, and it's a box, and I want to decorate this very fall, slightly Halloweenish. Not really Halloween. I probably won't get rid of the witch, but make it more elegant. But use elements of this poor thing, cover it all up, you know. But this could be really pretty on if I, you know, tone the yellows and stuff. But I have a thought on that one, so we're going to put that in there. That's going to go in there, because I have a feeling I know what I want to do with that one. Okay. Those things we had very little of it when we received it from our stash. And, so, okay. Let's go back to this one. That's not damaged. So what if we did... Hard part is always figuring out which side. Sorry, guys. All right, then. We'll figure it out. So I'm thinking like this, but we'll have to use the netting to tuck it, or get a piece of paper lightly to help tuck it in. But, I mean, what if we just did a really pretty oddball... Oh, that's a blue stitch down the middle. Oh, who blue stitched it? Oh, all the pearls down that. I mean, what if we did a really pretty, just sort of a fabric flip? I know it needs to have something a little bit more stable, I think, in the back side, which I do have a sari silk. Could be our base. I don't know why sari silk has to, like, literally come apart, though. What if we even used... Which means parts of these would also go on the cover to help pull these colors. But, I mean, we could use the sari silk as sort of a base to help us glue things down. You know, find something, some odd combination. I know that's a lot of heavy with a lot of light. But some kind of fabric flip that could just fold up, and, you know, where you could, if you wanted to write on it, or just sort of cover, because she's so pretty. She's got all of her goodies. And I'm like, what if, I mean, I have trims and netting, and I don't know. Like, I'd have to really work on it. I'd have to find the right balance. But I'm thinking, because of her, it was going to be here, the fabric flip, or more on the sewing one, but the sewing one's narrow. So that was the other half of the sewing one. And our sewing one is here. Now I could make it smaller. There's plenty of room up here too. I could make this a much smaller fabric flip because it is part of this. Part of the more of a, I could cream it out. That's sort of heavy though. I have all these pieces. I mean, I could trim and cut and, you know, play with whatever little things. But I could make it some kind of, I don't know if I like the cream. I gotta be really careful about the cream stuff. Really careful. I can do a little bit of the sari silk, that's okay. I can do a little bit of the black and lighten it with more pieces. I could go really light, overlap it. You know, when you gather it here, up here, we can either do the black paper, the black cardstock with a trim, you know, with a piece of paper to bring it back down. And with that, I think we could continue to add one of the laces that I have. Where's my other black one? Where is it? I have another black, tight is so tight. Ugh, I can't get it out. I have a black ruffle, or fan, excuse me, a black fan lace. Like we could just keep adding beiges and blacks and whatever. I can even just sort of sew that to the bottom of that one, right? And maybe I'm liking the fabric flip on the smaller one because it is with the, you know, it's a little bit more fashion, a little bit more sewing. So I think a fabric flip, a little one here, wouldn't be overwhelming, and would have more potential. Which, you know, it's 2 down from here, which is black, pearls. Yeah, okay, let's do this one. So I'll have to think of something. We'll have to do something else on the other side. Okay, I will put a note on this one that we need to do the fabric flip. But that's why we're not gluing down any panels today quite yet, because we'll have to do, and then we'll have to go page by page and, you know, make the interactive piece and glue it down properly, and then use, you know, I'll have all the panels inked later. But okay, so this interesting combination, which actually is sort of pretty, I liked what we were doing. Yeah, keep it together, haha. Will be on this page. So let me find a sticky. And I even have white paper. I even have white. Isn't that funny? So let's do our cream sari silk and lace flip here. Okay. Ta-da. I'll take that out of the, get that out of there. All right. So we have decor, but not something heavy. Small pocket here to put a journal card in. Fabric flip. So we will see on the edges here some cream, some black, some gold. It'll definitely grab attention, which means I'm definitely going to want to do something that sari silk. I'm going to want to make some kind of ruffle out of it at some point, to pull that cream back here somewhere. So it's not just here. It will be on the cover for sure. Anything we put in here, we'll make sure it's on the cover so it pulls it all the way through. Because we're going to see, you know, we're going to see a little bit of cream-ish color because of this cream cardstock. It's supposed to be white. It's an off-white. But compared to the bright white paper, it is definitely not white. Okay, so we're gonna get pudgy here. All right, so we got it. Now I'll lay that pretty thin. Not sure there. So something 1 and 2, but nothing. This is fine. It's already done. It has that with the middle. It's gonna have a flip here then. Not sure about that one yet, but I definitely feel we have a lot of what we call real estate here. So we need to do something with this one. I think this is going to be a flip. Well, it's going to be another flip up, I guess. Or we're going to do something. I don't know if I want another tuck on the inside because we're going to start getting really bulky here in the middle. We need to stick to the top, bottom, or out. Now, one of these, I was thinking bottom. What was that? Was that this one? One of these, I thought I saw the potential of a bottom flip out. And it could be her. Because these two both have potential. There's a lot of real estate. This one's fine. This is writing, and this is going to have a back tuck. So that one takes care of that problem. And it's actually really perfect because our half-page sort of writing page look, you know, is right there and is finished off with that tuck. So we are good. Make sure I don't write my pencil so dark. I'm like, oh my goodness. All right. So one here, maybe not there. Something needs to go here. So we want to go, we're almost every other to a point. Doesn't mean though we can't then start putting stuff on this side. I wanted it to be interactive. I didn't want it to be super flat. I didn't know I couldn't decorate every little thing. I thought one of these when I was cutting it had a perfect bottom. And I'm now going, well, I mean a small section bottom, but again, it's going to go towards that middle. Both of these have top real estate. So it needs to be this one. So what do we want to do with this one? Another, I have that, which is super pretty. Gives me a great base to something. Then it just flips out. I'm like, eh, right? I know I have to clear that up, but I'm wondering. Clear that up and put a new solid and put some kind of sparkly stuff in there. Cut it all nice and clean. You get taupe and that. That's a little heavy though for the flip. I mean, even if I can cut it and use it a little bit for that to help it bring it in. And then when you opened it, we could put a piece of paper here. But it's really hard to write on though. It is just something pretty. We could do reverse where you just see that reverse and I ink this side and it's just, but then it's just opening it up for a pretty, which maybe I do have a huge cluster. I can always print more. I mean, I could just decorate it. And it's just an extra pretty decor piece. The whole point was both be interactive. Like this one I can cover and put goodies so it's sort of shakeable, but only when you opened it and you're opening it away from you. So that defeats the purpose unless I flipped it to where you had it here and you opened it. And by opening it, everything would shift. It's a lot of work for it. I don't know. I love this though. Gosh, I want to use it. Now, we could use that on the cover though. That could be a piece that's inked and stuff and that's probably cover. I'm like, nope, that is just getting too pretty and that needs to be cover. Okay. Bag, another envelope. I just happen to have a white envelope, doesn't mean I need to use it. I could still do this as a shaker piece. Make it a shaker piece and it's something that gets tucked in somewhere. I mean, we have that back pocket where we could tuck this in, you could take it out and you could, it's something pretty decorative that we play with, which is potentially doable too. I need to cut, yeah, it's like I need to cut that out or re-clean it up. I like the taupiness of it because it's really close, and that's why I thought, well, we didn't have to get taupe, lace, seal it, try to find a bunch of sparkly things to put inside it, make it a shaker, and then, we'd have this great page. So, it is going to be a shaker piece. I just have to work on that one. And that might be, maybe one day we just make the shaker one day. Just an ephemera day, and then it's just trying to make this shaker. So, alright, leave that over there. And I do have tabs and things to help with these things. So anything we're flipping out or up, I can attach a tab to help open it up. We have her. We have this. I mean, any bag just you fold it up. Bag or envelope, you fold it up and you get multiple pockets. I could just let this sit in the middle. This one doesn't have to flip out, I guess. Like we were going to do with the little skinny one. Right? You get a pocket here, you get a pocket here. We decorate this up just like I did with the bags on the accordion. We're not going to do an accordion fill, of course, because we don't need to. But that would use up the real estate, give me two large cards, two wider cards, which I have cards. What did I do with those? I have double-sided cards. Got plenty of journal cards for this kit. Let's see if these will fit in there. So we put the first one in, it sticks out. Now both would stick out though, because I don't have it in a spot. Let's see, we bring this down a little bit. There we go. So then, one would hide in the back. One would definitely be in the front. But, I could do that while we can put two insulating back journal cards in there. They're funny how they're both Paris. That doesn't mean one can't go sideways in. It's funny how I put the Eiffel Towers on on both the verticals, which makes sense. The Eiffel Tower is tall. Why would you not put it on a vertical, right? So anyway, but that's good because in these horizontal ones can always go in a side tuck somewhere. And then I have the smaller ones that'll go in that front pocket that we have the queen on, or it looks like the queen. I have the smaller 6-ups, for those. And I have tags and I have large tags, which if we got to anything, a large tag could go behind the shaker on that back page. All right. So I have plenty, I think I have enough things to put in stuff. I just need to make things to put in it. So we have that, again, black base with a color. This one we would just put a piece of paper with the gray ink. So I like sort of showing some of the pretty vellum-y colored ordeals. Keeping it light so it doesn't take up a lot, but it does stand out on its own accord. Yeah, I don't want to cover this because I want to be able to see the card, I guess, in the back. Except it is torn. So we're going to put lace or something across the top to reinforce it. We got a bag there. We have a tuck. Nothing at the moment. Don't think that's going to stay that way, though. We got a double pocket here to eat up this real estate. Nothing there. This is going to be a full pocket again. With the medium journal cards. I think the medium tags fit in there. That's our signature for the middle. Nothing there at the moment. Our flip out, our fabric flip. Our pocket down here, which holds the little guys. Holds my little, smaller journal cards. And then those are just decorative. So, and just, you know, right now because of all the paper clips, it is, you know, we're starting to see some crocodile. I know I want this somewhere, and we have so many, like, empty spots up here that might be worth that one. I know we're doing that flip on that side. That seems almost, well, not really, because if maybe we offset it, you could put a larger journal, if we did it, we just glued this sides down, you could put a larger journal card or tag tucked into the side. And I'd make something to go in these guys. Make some kind of bookmarky things, you know, small card would go here, a bookmark type thing would go in here, and then we could tuck in a large tag before you got into your signature. Which is good because you'd want a bookmark for your journal, right? So this page, I'm thinking we definitely need to have the fleur-de-lis. And then I can vary it because I want to try to make sure that it's like every other. So black border, roses, maybe black border, fleur-de-lis, and so on and so forth. So I'll have to double check that. Again, it's the same thing. What we cut here potentially needs to go on the other side. So I can only pattern accordingly so well. I don't want too matchy-matchy, but it may happen that way too. I mean, that's roses with roses, and I didn't even think about that. So that would be fleur-de-lis. That would be the black. That could be anything. That's roses, but that's okay to have. We could swap it where that could be roses again, and that's the fleur-de-lis. Because I hate to, you know, I said that fleur-de-lis may be a questionable thing. So maybe we will somewhat matchy without even, we didn't mean to, but it sort of rolls that way. A lot of fleur-de-lis, black border. But we'll put roses here. So I can go, let's see here. So let's do this. Make my notes, right? So we started with the rose. So left writing space. So you get to watch my thought process for today for sure. And then I'll have a lot of things prepped. I will probably get everything inked. I will definitely get these pages, you know, done and probably even in place unless I'm debating on decorating it. So again, as I go along, I'll double check and make sure, what can I do with this before I go, and it may be worth towards the back again, one of those pages, getting an envelope in those wider pages and do the same thing. So 1 was roses, 2 is fleur-de-lis, 3 is black. Black meaning I have a black border like this. 4 though will be back to roses. So 5 can be fleur-de-lis. So on the reverse, I mean, it's the same though, it's the same ordeal, but I don't think they match up. So, well, because the roses are on the back, there's really no one to match with it, right? So this one is number 2, right? Okay, so 2 would be fleur-de-lis, which is fine because that doesn't have a backing. Yeah, with fleur-de-lis. Then this would be the black one. This would be the rose. And this would be the fleur-de-lis. So they don't definitely match on the back side. Nanobummer. And I bet you 10 to 1 I have to do it because the same thing. No, yeah, because I only have 2 sheets of every page, so I'm doing the exact same concept. So the back doesn't have a matchy match. So that'd be weird to have the front match and not the back. And that would absolutely irritate me. So I'd rather maybe just pattern it. The only one I have to keep in mind is the fleur-de-lis on this one because of where I want this, unless I change it. I mean, I could shift it. But I'm doing the same thing. If I have a pocket here and a flip here, I don't really want to put something. Well, then I could, though, because that. Okay, sorry, guys. This is what I go through. This is why I don't do this on camera, because I could go in circles with this. If I'm putting lace here, it's going to make it bumpy, which is going to make this hard to write on. So maybe I am going to put this one here. That way, I'm putting things in here that we are pulling out to write on, so we're not writing on something bumpy, because it's not something I'm sort of hiding. So lace here would make it a little hard to write on. So we will do this here with a fleur-de-lis. Then, you know, we're going along. So yeah, nope, we're gonna, the only fleur-de-lis that I'm gonna worry about, panel 1, 2, 3, and 4 is gonna be, we're gonna do the fleur-de-lis here for sure. But I think the rest we're gonna maybe just rotate left, right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 within reason. I know I'm going out, but I can't go 1, 2, and 3, and there's that one. So we have a little bit of repetitive here. Those happen to match, but maybe we'll keep it up. We'll not match this one, we'll not match that one doesn't match, and so on and so forth. So, all right, well, that went out the door, because then that way the back doesn't match either. A couple might, just like this front one happens to, but we want to keep it, I think, mix and match, so that way it has its rhythm or purpose without being a rhythm or purpose, right? You want to look at like unintentionally, but still planned out, because I can't help myself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have a feeling I am way past my due. 51 minutes. I am right there. So we still have plenty of things to decorate with. We definitely have some pockets and holes. I was hoping for a little bit more flip out. As we got to the back here, she's open here. That's why I'm like going, oh. I mean, we could put something on the inside here that just opened up like an inner book, because I do have things like the file folder, but I think she's going to get tucked in, as much as I'd like to add her into something, unless I was going to just randomly sew her in the middle. But maybe I'll put her in the middle of the naked journal. This one I wanted to use, as I've had in the past, where I open it, you know, it's folded and it opens up and we get to use it. But I don't want to lose the roses. So her, I'd have to cut it, keep folding it to see what, you know, it glues down, it's a tuck, but it also folds maybe as an accordion, where we open it up insideward, up, in, out, yeah, we open up the accordion, there we go, to where it lays across this back page, and we can still write on it, along with this writing page. So that might work. It's a tuck, and it opens up an unusual way, but no one says it has to open up, but it would lay flat here, and it would just accordion open, or the zigzag fold open to write on this side. And of course, the back is also totally writable. So when it folds, we'll decorate on this one maybe. We'll decorate here. That's writable. The back two sides are writable. So you could open it either way, and we have a tuck here at the same time. All right, I like that one actually. Okay, so that was one. This is going to be to be. To be or not to be. Here we go again. Where's my pencil? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's the last decision I'm going to make with you. To be zigzag, Z-fold. We'll decorate this flap, which has this fun little thumb notch to make it easier to pull open. Plenty of writing on the back. And it gets glued, you know. The fold is here. Glue down to make a tuck. So this is going to be right along the seam of signature, so that I know, right? If I don't, yeah, so it's going to be here. And it tucks and it folds out, and it can be written on both sides, and it definitely gives us more space. And I can decorate this up, and, you know, not too bulky. It won't be super bulky, because like I said, we'll flatten out in the middle. So not to bulk click, otherwise I'm gluing that right down on top of her face, and we don't want that. And see, I still ended up with her towards the back because I can't help it. A lot of her. I really loved her, so I put her on a lot of things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We've made decisions. I will do more prep work so that any page that has work like this to be done, I will save. I'll make sure things are inked and cut and ready. But then we can sit and glue things down and decorate that pocket or put on that fold. The fabric flip, I'll have to make it off screen for sure, sew it, place it, and then we'll glue it down together. But that page I can ink and glue down, and then we'll just put our, our fabric flip in there nice and neat. We'll work on this together, things like that. So I will get everything prepped so each panel that needs some TLC, you guys can watch me do. And we'll try to do things days where it's just decorating something like this, but then we have bigger projects where we're working on that, or we're working on, this guy. Those are all videos by themselves. They may be, hopefully they could be 30, 40-minute videos, quick and easy. Like this one and this one may be done together. Things like that. We will pick projects and work on the next, few videos next week to work on the more ephemera end of it all. And then I guess I'll have to do the hard work into the third week and get the cover laid out so that you guys can, watch me attempt to put together a, what's the word? Probably a press board or heavy cardboard cover that we will, I have plenty to decorate. I have plenty to do a light decorating to our naked signature. I have all the basics. I have a lot of basics to put inside the naked journal if I wanted to. Oh my goodness. Or on these pages, I may decide there's a lot of little pockets that are just being glued down. I mean, all this could be glued down to for a flat, pockets somewhere. No one says it has to be on the top or bottom. Or be on the top. It can be just about anywhere, right? But you could put little pockets on the inside up here. Maybe we put pockets up here to put things in. So yeah, we have our pockets inside of pockets. And we have that empty space, or small pockets on the bottom of the writing spaces. I don't know. We have plenty to play with. One way or another, it'll go in here. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching my hemming and hawing. But at least I have the basic panels. We now see the flow. We see the potential of what it's doing. All right? We can see what can be done, what's here to play with, what we can decorate edges with, pieces of, everything is going to show something. This one's really plain, so it's going to have that fabric flip here, and maybe I put something in this corner, so it decorates out a little bit. This one's going to have a bottom pocket, so you're going to see something interactive there. So as we go along, I'll be able to know what to keep adding to as we get towards the back. So, oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, it's coming along. We're starting to see it form. Yay! All right, but like I said, you want any measurements to do this as I'm doing it with any kit in a colored paper that you want, let me know and I'll get you, the folds, the paper measurements, and your decorative paper panel measurements on top. Or I can simplify it and just give you the basic. And like I said, you can do multiple, instead of 6 pages, it's 12 smaller increments to fold, and, away you go. So, because I don't know the last time Gail did an actual tutorial. I know she's worked quite a few months ago. She worked on a Tim Holtz, a little 6x6 that was double-sided paper type thing, but I couldn't remember finding actual instructions. So, doesn't mean it wasn't there. I just couldn't find them. So, there you go. There's all that fun jazz. So, I love you all very much. Thank you so much for joining me, coming along, being part of this with me. And this will be Thursday/Friday. So, I guess Sunday or Monday would be the next video. Would I do Sunday night for Monday? Or, I don't do Monday night. Maybe. I don't know. I'll match it to this week's maybe. We'll keep to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, Thursday, Friday-ish thing for the next 2 weeks and into the third week. So, all right then. I made decisions. I've rambled enough. I love you all so very much. Thank you for liking, loving, commenting, subscribing, notifications, all that jazz. It keeps me going and keeps me up on your guys' feed so that you see what I am up to. I love you all very much, and we'll talk very soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.